Good afternoon, folks. Dead or Alive 2. This is what I'll be reviewing today. Nice, I have the Dreamcast version. So what's the difference? Dead or Alive Part 2. It's my favorite series, probably one of my favorite video game series of all time. Definitely got to collect all of them. This is the Dreamcast version, obviously the very first version released in the United States market. You have a very cool, sexy picture of Kasumi to greet you in the front. They're like, you know what? We'll be subtle in the front, and then we'll greet you with the BAM! Look how hot we are. It says right here, a 10 out of 10. If we were stranded on a desert island with only one fighting game, that game would be DOA 2. And my dudes, it's amazing. This game was released in the year 2000. So the Dreamcast had just come out the previous year. Now, I might have some mistakes in my conversation on information that I'm about to tell you, but whatevs, this is what I understand from it all. So the main dude, the main Japanese gentleman who was working on this game, he was swindled in releasing an unfinished version of the game, and it made him very angry and depressed, and he wanted to quit the gaming industry. But through some beautiful inspiration of Aerosmith and Bruce Willis, he came back. And this one, it's interesting. There's like no sexy girls at all, even though in the back you get like a little peek of some sexiness, but it's pretty faded. I don't even know if you can unlock bikini costumes in the PS2 version. This one was also released in the year 2000. So this game, I think it's absolutely incredible. I think like Dead or Alive is basically like the Final Fantasy of, how Final Fantasy always has like the best graphics of their time, honestly. Dead or Alive has the best graphics of their time for fighting games, in my opinion. I think nothing compares to their beautiful graphics and advancements. And I really appreciate this series because not only does it have hot girls, but it also has great fighting moves, and you can tell that the engineers really studied martial arts, the different forms, the different styles, different techniques. You have your Chinese martial arts, you have your Japanese styles, you have American wrestling, and all this great stuff. Every character is unique to their story in the game. The only thing, this game has great graphics. I love the fighting style. It's so fast. I love that you can just be a noob and just jump on the controller, start mashing the punch and the kick button, and you start fighting away. But as an advanced player, you also get to learn about how to parry, how to hold, how to counter, and how to do each individual character's special moves once you decide to focus on mastering a certain character. For example, Kasumi, she's obviously my favorite because she can like teleport since she's a ninja, so she can disappear and appear on the other side of a character. Like, that's so dope that not everyone can do. You can obviously tell that this was an unfinished version because, for example, like on the character select menu, it's a little bit more boring. I think it just shows you like an image of the character, if anything. And the PS2 version shows you like a really cool animation as you're selecting your character, and it actually displays like the costume that they're about to wear in the actual fight. So that is so cool. The PS2 version is supposed to be the finished version that the creator originally wanted to release, while this was unfinished, unfortunately. And you can tell like this one is a little bit more polished up. You can tell like the shadows or like the character's clothing is shadowed and shined properly. Whereas the Dreamcast version, it's a little bit more plain and it just simply seems unfinished, even though the colors look richer and brighter in the Dreamcast version. Both play the same. I mean, they're both very fast. I know some people have complained about it like a hair glitch on DOA 2, where like for a millisecond before the fight starts or after it ends, you'll see a character's hair disappear. I have never experienced that on my Dreamcast or on this version. So I don't know, maybe some people or on emulators or I don't know, but never seen that on mine. What a huge change from the 1996 arcade and PlayStation and Saturn version. You know, you can tell they worked super hard. They had new technology in their hands to improve the graphics. Everything was so cool. They even included like a little bit of cutscenes, you know, during the fights. It wasn't extremely satisfying when you would finish the story. You know, you were expecting like a really cool clip at the end showing a little bit more about them. Part 2 didn't do an amazing job on that. They do a great job in including a manual where they explain like a lot of the story. For example, here, it gives you like a long like description of what is going on. They even say thank you for purchasing the software. Be sure to read the instructions. The game is backed up. How sweet. And then in the back here, the world of Dead or Alive, the famous realization. So they give you a lot of history in the manual. And this is what I appreciate about old school games, vintage games from the good years, the golden years of the 90s and the 2000s, is that people cared about the manual. It came with instructions, it came with combos, you know, things like that to me matter so much. With the release of like Dead or Alive 6 and going forward, I'm sure everything is just becoming digital and no one's giving a shit about manuals anymore. I don't think they even make them anymore, which is extremely sad. Everything is just digital, and I don't like that. I like tangible things. They mean a lot more. So, this game, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm going to rate them together. I'm not going to rate them individually because they are actually one game. You know, one of them was finished, one of them was unfinished. It doesn't matter. We can obviously see like the true intention of the creators and the hard workers on this game. It's absolutely incredible. The combos are just phenomenal. Total change from like the original. They just added on it. The graphics were amazing. The story wasn't perfect, but for its time, it was an incredible advancement, and they were only going to get better from here. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Maybe I'm biased because this is just simply my favorite series, but it's my favorite series for a reason. So, hope you like this review. Hope you agree. You can comment on it or punch the like button. Oh my god, I sound like a YouTuber. Ugh, I'm sorry I said all that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm going to be reviewing part 3 next. Have a good one.